A very warm welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to analyze PIB news of 1st July. I have got a special topic for you guys as well. The name of this topic is Jan Dhan. No, it is Vandhan. Now you would be wondering what this Vandhan is all about. We will analyze it, and let me tell you that this special topics that will be provided to you on regular basis will help you with your mains examination. It will help you with your answer writing as well as it will help you with your personality test or interview. But before that, dear friends, I would like to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses. As you can see on your screen, we have covered many different exams that includes UPSC state level exams, UPSC optional courses, defense, bank exams, and all our pen drive and tablet courses are designed by best faculties of our country. So the quality that you are going to get from it is going to be off top of the range. Find out more about it on studyiq.com. With this, we have also launched test series. Registration is open now. It is available both in Hindi and English. The first one is going to come to you on 10th of July. Find out more about it on testseries.studyiq.com. If you want to get in touch with me, this is my Facebook page. This is my Twitter handle. Please don't forget to share this video as well as the PDF of this lecture, as well as do spread the word around as well that PIB will be delivered to you on regular basis from today. And don't forget to hit the like button. With this, dear friends, let's start by asking ourselves this question: what do we understand, or what is the real meaning of Swaraj or self-rule? The simple yet important answer is it means attaining the power to shape one's own destiny. That means we are the creator of our own destiny. We are empowered enough to decide what our source of livelihood will be, how our social life will be, how our economic life will be, how our family life will be, everything, political life as well. But when we talk about Vandhan basically means the prosperity or the wealth of forest or jungle. Now, when we talk about jungle, of course, we cannot ignore tribal people. They are one of the most important community that we have in our country. The problem with tribal, or the problems that they are facing even today in our country, under a free country, even today they are facing this issue of jal, that is water, jungle, that is forest, and zameen, that is their land. Traditionally, if we look at our forests, then they were a sort of mixed forest. They were, of course, having this timber, but apart from timber, they used to have this non-timber forest products as well, that is NTFP. This includes trees or bush-borne oilseeds, fruits, flowers, roots, shoots, leaves, bark, and herbs. What this sort of variety means is that life, sustainability of this tribal people living in forest, their food, their medicine, their living ambience, as well as if in case they need any sort of other items from urban area or nearby town, they used to get it by sharing or by bartering or by selling this various different NTFP items to this city dwelling, or you can say this town dwelling people. So far we can understand that their life was smooth, their culture was protected, everything was going smooth. But later on, if we go in history, and it's not just, when I say later on, I'm not just talking about a period of ancient India. In medieval India as well, we have seen this thing. Even in independent India, we have seen this sort of things, right? Generally speaking, there are many pockets in our country. They are virgin enough, right, where these tribal people are even today enjoying their life, right? They get their food, medicine, and other other items for their sustainability in nearby jungle. But this is when I say they do find it, we are talking about only few pockets, right? Very minor pockets are left. Apart from that, other pockets are very sadly been destroyed because of various rules and regulation. It all started back in medieval era when many mighty kings tried to uproot these tribal people. They tried to conquer them, but they failed to larger extent. Then came this colonial powers, right? British to be precise, and they came out with this Forest Act of 1927. And this act infringed the liberty, the freedom of this tribal people forever. One more important point as far as this traditional forests are concerned and tribal way of life is concerned, these forests were entirely usufruct. Usufruct basically means that nobody claimed right over land. Right? They live in this shared community. Tribal people, they have their own way of life, and everyone used to share, and not only share, right? They used to look after the ecosystem, the flora and fauna of jungle was, and in fact even today they are very well looked after by this tribal people. They have this heritage knowledge that they have learned from their parents, from their forefathers, and they are a very important player as far as this protecting biodiversity of forest is concerned. Then came this 1927 Act, and overnight, these forests that they have, or that they were their life, right? That was their world, was snatched away from them by this British Raj. All of a sudden, overnight, they became trespassers. And after that, we have seen this many struggles. Even today, when you see this Naxal issue. Earlier on, I'm not sure if you are aware about this thing, that Naxal issue was basically a non-violent movement. But it got a touch of violence, and today it is one of the biggest internal security threat that we have in our country. Anyways, our main focus is this Vandhan, but the reason why I'm highlighting Naxalism here is because the roots of this Naxalism, it all started because of this Jal, Jungle and Zameen issues. Anyways, then government came out with, or the country came out with this 1996, we came out with this Provisions of Panchayats Extension to Scheduled Areas Act, which we also call it as PESA. PESA was a major breakthrough. But even today, it has got some technical deficiencies. Just to highlight a few of them, ownership of this minor forest producers is confirmed or conferred, but MFP has not been defined yet. And because of this thing, what happens is that even today, this items apart from timber, right, all these decisions pertaining to this MFP is taken or been given to Gram Sabha and not this NTFP gatherer. So basically you can connect this thing with Swaraj. In 2006 we came out with this Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act. It is one of the most significant, perhaps the most significant legislation that we have in our country as far as this forest tribes are concerned. But the main problem here is implementation. Because even after the introduction of this act, we have seen, beg your pardon, we have seen that many this NTFP bearing forests were cleared to make a way for this unnatural timber plantation, right? When I say unnatural, I mean to say that plantation is basically man-made, so it destroys this flora and fauna diversity. Apart from that, when you have too much of timber, you do lose this NTFP, which is very important. And one of the reasons why it is important is because, before going on to this item, I would like to add one more thing. Last point as far as this act is concerned, that it is more symbolic than real. And the prime example is this timber plantation. Now, why this NTFP are important? Because this NTFP are even today, right, they are gathered by this tribal people, forest dwelling people, and these items are used in many drugs, pharmaceutical industry, in FMCGs, in many other items that we use. It works as a raw material. The other important thing as far as this NTFP is concerned, estimated value per year is 2 lakh crore rupees. Can you imagine 2 lakh crore rupees coming from this raw material? And one more thing about this thing, this 2 lakh crore rupees, is that all these NTFPs are entirely dependent on nature. There is no sort of nourishment provided by this tribal people. And just in case, if we provide this nourishment, we can clock 10 lakh crore rupees per year. This is more than many states, right, spending after developmental work. Can you believe this thing? 10 lakh crore rupees per year, just if we proactively develop this NTFP product, because it's in huge demand in market out there. But the sad part is that only 20% or less than that is generally going to this gatherer. So here you find that 80% is taken away by this chain of middlemen that we have in our country. What can be done about it? We have to reform this chain that we have, this supply chain. We need to get rid of this unnecessary middleman. Of course, we cannot, practically speaking, get rid of everyone, but at least we can try to bring this up. This 20% should go up to minimum 40%, right? 40 to 50% should be minimum share of these gatherers, and rest can be distributed by other people, or other chain can have the other half. That's fine, it's fair enough. The other thing is at local level, we need to promote this value addition thing. That means removing seeds, bottling, packaging, all these things can be done nearby forest periphery, so you can maintain this biodiversity. At the same time, extra job will be provided to this tribal people, and if it is going on in their area, they don't have to leave their area and come and work in the urban area and leave their family and social way of life. So this is win-win for our culture, win-win for tribal people, everyone. We need to work, or state governments can work in this area of how we can increase productivity. We can provide nourishment, and we can proactively develop, provide all this technical upgradation, scientific methods, or else we can provide them market intelligence, like which product is in demand in the market and things like that. And this can be done if we establish this 3,000 Vandhan Vikas Kendras, which will support 30,000 Vandhan self-help group across the country. If we do this thing, if we implement, if we look after all these 4 points, right, A, B, C, D, then we can triple this tribal income in somewhere around 2 years time. Then we can marry this Vandhan with Jandhan, with which this tribal people can get this working capital for their raw material, for their transport, for their storage. We can also have this vertical integration. We can ask this Procter and Gamble or Patanjali or Unilever or other companies, right? They too can invest. They can train people in packaging, in handling raw material, in making sure that storage is done properly and things like that. So this will create additional jobs, and this will change the way of life. When I say way of life, it will change for good, for positive, right? It will change, it will add value in the life of this tribal people. Generally, if you go and look the society of tribal people, then you will find that it is more equal, right? There is no discrimination between boy and girl. You won't find tribal houses or tribal families who are very rich, and you won't find tribal houses that are very poor, right? There is no this big divide. Generally, there could be up and down, but it's not this big that we find in so-called civilized or so-called urban area. It is more like this in tribal area, right? So this is their own way of life, their economic life, their livelihood, everything can be looked after, and we can change their life for sure. With this, dear friends, let's go through some important PIB news. The first item that we have is coming from Ministry of Finance, and today our country is celebrating GST Day. It was last year, 30th June, midnight, when GST was launched. At that point of time, the Central Hall of Parliament was filled up with important ministers and MPs, and the President was present there at that point of time. Pranab Mukherjee was our President. Prime Minister Modi was there, and the country launched this symbol, as well as this, you can say, a true insignia of cooperative federalism, as well as Team India spirit, that is GST. And no doubt it has brought a positive change in our Indian economy. GST has also brought growth, simplicity and transparency. I'm sure many of you are wondering that we have faced many issues as well, and we have to face issues because, see, on paper you can have the best plan, but when you go out there in the field to implement this thing or any new change, you will find many hiccups and many problems. And the best thing is that are we ready to change, or are we ready to mitigate these problems? Are we ready to solve these problems, or do we work enough to provide a sort of solution for these problems? If you ask me personally, then I would say that yes, government has done everything possible to make sure that rollout is as smooth as possible. And after this rollout as well, all these glitches that we found were very, you can say, professionally handled by the government. It has boosted formalization. It has enhanced productivity. It has further boosted this ease of doing business. It has supported small and medium enterprises as well. Earlier on, we used to have 17 different indirect taxes and 23 different cess, but now they are all one, and they are now called GST, one tax for one nation. Apart from that, as far as formalization is concerned, since independence, we used to have just 66 lakh registered enterprises in our country. But after this rollout of GST, in 1 year, we have got addition of 48 lakh new registered enterprises. This is a very good example as well as figure for this formalization. The other thing is we don't see anymore this queues at state borders of these trucks carrying goods, right? Check posts are gone, because now we have one tax for our country. Tax collection has gone up. We have figures here on an average 89,885. So roughly speaking, you can say 90,000 crore rupees per month tax collection. This is not bad at all. There are a few problems, no doubt, and Secretary General of ASSOCHAM has said that we need to bring petroleum and real estate under this GST purview. If you are following my English analysis, the Hindu English analysis, then I provided you with two different views, right? There was an article in Hindu about negative points of GST, and I provided you some positive points of GST as well. So make sure you go through it as well if you want to know more about this thing. With this, dear friends, another important item is coming from Ministry of Culture. Now it's good news for us, hallelujah moment for Mumbai, because this Victorian and Art Deco ensembles of Mumbai are inscribed in this UNESCO's World Heritage List, right? 42nd meeting took place in Bahrain. That is a small, tiny island country in Persian Gulf, and the capital is Manama. And this 42nd meeting decided that these items should be added to this list. After Ahmedabad, Mumbai became second city in our country to be inscribed in this World Heritage List. With this, dear friends, we have 37 World Heritage inscriptions, 29 cultures, 7 natural and 1 mixed sites in our country. With this, we are rank 2 as far as Asia Pacific region is concerned. Number 1 is China, and around the world our rank is 6 when it comes to World Heritage properties. These are the two pictures that you can see on your screen. And with this, dear friends, international news, last item in today's PIB is coming from Iran, right? Iran has said that USA will never get any sort of success if it is trying to corner Iran by disturbing its oil export. But most important item is here. Iran has, as far as gas reserves are concerned, it is rank 2 in the world, and when you talk about oil supply, it is rank 4 in the world. As far as oil is concerned, Saudi Arabia is rank 1 and Russia is number 1 in gas reserves. With this, dear friends, these are two questions in front of you on your screen. Make sure you check out StudyIQ.com, and please do share this lecture on your social networking site, as well as do spread out this word that PIB is back again for you guys. It will be delivered to you on regular basis around before 11 a.m. right, for sure, every day, somewhere around 10:30 or 10, from 10 to 11 you will get both Hindi and English. With this, dear friends, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. I'll see you all soon tomorrow. Jai Hind.